Hi, my name's Ultra, and I want to tell you about the Transformers. I wonder if I should really start every single one of these reviews off with that. Let me know down in the comments. Well, you voted, and after many battles, a victor has finally emerged. Congratulations to Transformers Armada on being dubbed my new Saturday review series. Armada was the first major reboot of the Transformers franchise, and the beginning of what would later become known as the Unicron Trilogy, a term first coined by fans and later adopted by Hasbro themselves. After the Beast era ended, this new reboot of the franchise sought to return to its roots, and reintroduce audiences to the classic battle between the Autobots and Decepticons. But hey, I don't need to explain Transformers Armada to you. You're the ones that voted for it. So without any further ado, let's get into the first episode, appropriately titled First Encounter. We begin with the narrator telling us the origins of the Transformers.
Before time began, there was the Cube.
No, that's still several years off. No, the MacGuffin of this series is a third race of smaller Transformers called Minicons. As hard as it is to believe, the Autobots and Decepticons supposedly formed a truce and agreed to launch the Minicons into space. That way neither side could abuse their power. Again, I find it very hard to believe. I'm pretty sure that the Decepticons would just keep their own Minicons and either launch the Autobots Minicons into space, or just steal them for themselves. But oh well, this is what we're told. Anyways, during this monologue, we can spot some background robots who are actually based on G1 Transformers. This will kind of become a thing during the series. So see if you can spot any familiar looking bots being used as background filler, just like Smokescreen is here. So the Minicon ship collides with the moon, breaking it in half, with one half staying on the moon and the other landing on Earth, and the Minicons themselves being scattered all over the globe. We are then introduced to the human companions for this show, Rad, Carlos, and Alexis. Rad was played by Kirby Morrow, who would also intro many of the episodes after this one. If you're a fan of Transformers Armada, you will definitely remember...
Hi, my name's Rad, and I want to tell you about the Transformers, mechanical beings from another world.
You've probably heard Kirby in countless other productions, from the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show to Lego's Ninjago. He would also go on to voice Hotshot in Transformers Cybertron. Sadly, Kirby passed away just over a year ago, and that's why this first video is dedicated to him. We miss you, Kirby. Carlos is played by Matt Hill, who was also in that Ninja Turtles show with Kirby Morrow. Seriously, it's kind of weird hearing Rad and Carlos talking to each other as Raphael and Michelangelo. Matt was also in the original English dub of Card Captors, as the adorable Kiro. I actually used to watch this show when I was a little kid, and I seem to remember really liking it. It's just so cute. Matt has been in countless shows as well, from Ed, Edd and Eddy to My Little Pony. And finally, we have Alexis, played by Tabitha St. Germain. Like her human co-stars here, she has an IMDb a mile long. Or should I say kilometer, because, you know, Canadian? Or maybe I should say parsec, or quads, or whatever it is that Transformers use to measure distance. Oh well. She's been in a lot of stuff. From the Legend of Zelda cartoon, to Dragon Ball Z, to... Wait a minute! She's Rarity in My Little Pony? Why didn't you guys tell me that she was one of the main 6 in My Little Pony? You know, there are so many Transformers alumni in that show, I'm starting to think I should be reviewing that show instead. Oh well, maybe the next vote. So yeah, quite the human cast.
Hey, Alexis! Oh, and Alexis, I think she really likes me. Honest, she's just playing hard to get, that's all.
Sowing those seeds early, eh? Or maybe Alexis just hasn't met the right boy yet. Or rather, bot. But we have quite a few episodes to go through before we get to that. So, Rad and Carlos go spelunking in a cave. And they are followed by their two bullies / friends, Fred and Billy.
I'm trying my hardest, but no, nothing's never good enough for you.
Aw, quit your belly aching.
My therapist says I don't have to take this from you because you're not the boss of me.
Rad and Carlos have the ground fall out from underneath them, and they proceed to scream as they slide through this rock tunnel for about 10 minutes. Eventually, they end up just outside the crashed and buried Minicon ship. They explore it and eventually come upon a Minicon plate. Think of it like a Pokeball that holds a Pokemon. They touch it, and we get more screaming. Man, what is this, Dragon Ball Z?
Who's that Minicon? It's Highwire!
Highwire. The Minicon ship comes alive and sends out 3 Power Rangers. 3 signals. The green one goes to the other half of the Minicon ship, which in turn seems to send signals to all the other Minicons around the globe. The other 2 are sent to Cybertron, where we see more G1 character models being used as background generics. First, at what I believe is the Decepticon headquarters, because we do see the purple signal overhead just before, we see repaints of Hound, Braver, and Road King. Again, I think these guys might actually be Decepticons, despite being based on Autobot character models, because of their red eyes and purple faction symbols. Although their faction symbols do seem to be more Autobot shaped than Decepticon, so either these are Decepticons or they're actually Shattered Glass Autobots. In the next shot, we can spot more G1 Easter eggs. One character based on Powerglide, another based on Jazz, and the third I can't identify. Again, I think we're still in the Decepticon base, but it does show an Autobot symbol on screen. So either they've detected that the Autobots have received the signal as well, or this is actually the Autobot base. In the next shot, we have even more G1 homages, with Crosshairs, Beachcomber, Jetfire, and Wing. Okay, these boys are straight up in their original color schemes, more or less. And I love that my boy Jetfire got a cameo here. Although, isn't there another Jetfire in this show? I wonder if this is the same character, or maybe they're related or something. Then we see the Technobot Strafe looking up at the sky. And finally, we have Streetwise, Landmine, and Six Knight. There is also a 4th character here, but he's kind of hiding behind the console, so he's kind of hard to identify. But yeah, there are a lot of G1 character models being reused here as background filler. It's kind of awesome. By the way, shout out to my buddy Protoman for helping me identify some of these bots. As we saw, the Autobots and Decepticons scramble as they receive the Minicon signal. And as Rad and Carlos exit the mountain, a portal opens up and out emerges Megatron, kind of looking like the Terminator. As the leader of the Decepticons approaches, the Minicon plate activates, and we meet our first one of the show, Highwire, who scans Rad's bike and assumes its form. Sadly, the Minicons in this show only speak in R2-D2 style boops and beeps. I guess it would have been too expensive to hire voice actors for all of them. That would have essentially doubled or tripled the cast if they did. But somehow, Rad is able to understand him, kind of like Raph with Bumblebee in Transformers Prime. Unfortunately, the little Minicon's speed is no match for the gigantic Megatron.
You have something of mine.
We have what?
Give it back immediately, or you shall suffer the consequences.
Stand down, Megatron!
Aw, yeah!
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Of course, David Kaye as Megatron is always a treat. But hearing Gary Chalk as Optimus Prime off screen, and then you get this glorious shot of him with that juicy Transformers Armada theme song in the background. Ah, c'est magnifique! It's so epic! You couldn't ask for a better reveal. And then the two of them finally face off. It's just so awesome! I wish I could just insert the whole clip for you, but I don't want to get this video copyright claimed. But just look at the beautiful animation and sound design that went into this scene. Sadly, this would kind of be a rare occurrence in this show. And that's the end of the first episode of Transformers Armada. Honestly, kind of a slow start, a boring middle, but then an amazing ending. We begin with not one, but two exposition scenes. One talking about the Transformers, followed by one with the kids. Then they mess around in the caves for a while, until they finally find Highwire's Minicon plate, setting off the signal that brings the Autobots and Decepticons to Earth, so that we can finally get this party started. Thankfully, the next episode picks up right where this one left off, but we'll talk about that one next week. For now, let me know what you thought of this first episode of Transformers Armada. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff, and I'll see you back here next week for episode 2, Metamorphosis. So I'll see you back here next time for that. Also, if you haven't already, check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. You know, the guy that used to be in charge of the Transformers brand at Hasbro, and Armada was basically his baby? He recently posted his first video on Transformers Armada, talking about the very beginnings of the toy line, with more episodes to come. So if you want to learn how Transformers Armada was created, go check out his podcast and tell him that Ultra Primal sent you.